All right, guys, good evening. We'll let some folks get dialed in here and we'll get up and running with an update on the landfall for Milton.
All right, guys, good evening.
Do me a favor and share this to your social media pages. Tag a few friends if you would, repost it, whatever the case may be. Let some folks know. We're going to get into an analysis right now of this powerful hurricane as it's about to head right into Sarasota, Florida, it looks like. Okay. Yeah, for those of you watching and been following along, it's definitely a little bit ahead of schedule in terms of making landfall here by a good 4 or 5 hours. And we see just now a powerful hurricane heading into the area. It's definitely coming in faster for those of you that are watching. And we think it's probably going to make landfall here. I'd say in about an hour and a half. About 8:30 probably is when it's going to touch the coastline here. You know, we're looking in terms of just trying to get a good idea. You know, you're kind of tracking the center of low pressure. The way I kind of track it is like this, and then kind of like this. You kind of see you can see just the general movement, the center of that working right through here. It generally looks to be where it's going to make landfall. Okay. As a major hurricane right now, there are still wind estimates inside the storm here, just on the north and west side of the low pressure center, of well over 100 miles per hour. There's 110 mile per hour wind. And then down here near Venice, it froze up a little bit. Come on. My program's freezing up on me. Hang on. I may have to quit this and come back in. Hang on, guys. Let me restart that. Apologies there. You gotta love technology. You know, it works. And right when you really need it to work, it stops working, right? Let's go to velocity data. There we go. Okay, I'll turn my screen share back on for you guys so you can see that. Okay, there it is. Again, it is... let's see, it is 7:03, and we're looking at landfall to come right in here through Sarasota area. You can see these radar estimated winds. They're nasty. They're still really, really high. 136 miles per hour, 136, 142. Now, these are a little bit of elevated winds off the ground, but nonetheless, these are just incredible winds here coming into the area. And even whipping in on the backside, you've still got winds here at 106 miles per hour. 105, 111. So again, just an overall, just a really, really nasty storm. And the area right now, you see this big red or pinkish area here that's been highlighted: Clearwater, St. Pete, Sarasota, upwards to Lakeland and Tarpon Springs area. That is a high wind warning, I believe, or an extreme wind warning or something. I'm trying to click on it here. See if I can get some detail. There we go. Extreme wind warning, extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. And that should have been sent to most of people's cell phone devices down there in Florida. But this right here says that an extremely dangerous life-threatening situation. The tornado watch also remains in effect. But this is the Eyewall, the hurricane, now coming into the area, and this is the reason why they've issued the warnings that they have for just the extreme wind. Okay, so again, we've got you can come here. We've got a little bit of a landfall that looks to be a little bit quicker than what data had indicated. And again, we'll put this into motion for you so you can kind of watch this, and you can see these heavy rains and the circulation come plowing in here. It's taken on a little bit more of an east-northeast movement here, if you will. Should make landfall somewhere right around Bradenton to Sarasota, somewhere in there. So that's the thought process right now. I'm going to come over here and show you a couple things that I'm seeing just on the screen here on the X feed. All right, I want to switch the screen that I'm sharing and take you over here to the X feed and show you this. This is an extreme wind warning issued for Bradenton, Florida right now. A few small sections of flooding, but not seeing many storm surge issues just yet. The wind is definitely picking up. Check this out. I mean, that's in Bradenton. That's right now, and it's not here yet. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't quite gotten there. So that is, certainly interesting footage. Here is St. Petersburg currently from Mike's weather page on Twitter. Okay, you can see the storm making its way in here, on X, if you will. See, we're starting to get pretty nasty waves and things working into the area. Okay. Then you've got storm surge in Naples, Florida. Right. Here's some of the water working in. Whoop, I can't click on that. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Go back. Here we go. You can see, check this out here. Okay, so that's all the way down in Naples. The storm surge is forecast to be probably 2 to 4 feet, but Naples is quite a bit a ways away from the center of Milton. Okay, here's the guy that's trying to survive in his boat. I don't know if you've seen this. This guy's in Tampa. They're calling him Lieutenant Dan. I don't know. There's like people putting wagers on this guy on surviving. It's wild if you want to follow something. Just going through and looking through the news feed, there's the extreme wind warning in effect until 9:30 tonight for dangerous hurricane force winds. And that's the area it's in effect for. Brandon, Tampa, Bradenton, Sun City Center, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, you name it. There's the warning is in effect all over the place here. This is another pure live Earth cam shows Hurricane Milton slam Florida. So I'm just kind of going through and showing you some footage of everything that we're seeing here. You never know what else you're going to see while I'm on this feed. So I apologize if you see something that's interesting. I can't control what's seen on here sometimes, but yeah, nonetheless, I'll keep kind of looking for this and seeing if I see any, anything worthwhile here worth mentioning. All right. So we'll go back over here and go to radar, and I'll try to take some questions as we're again watching Milton come on in here. I saw earlier today that the NWS has issued over 130 different, or maybe even 140 different tornado warnings across the state. Just an absolutely crazy amount of tornado warnings were issued earlier, and a lot of places actually were hit with tornadoes, especially on the state's east side over there on the East Coast. Over here to, I'll pull up the filtered reports. 19 actual tornado reports today so far. So that's certainly interesting. That's quite a few. I'll zoom in and be able to show you that real quick where those tornadoes have touched down. Because, you've got a hurricane moving in, but also portions of the state are dealing with tornadoes as well. So again, we'll pull that up over here and alternate that so you can see that over here in Florida. And again, 19 tornado reports. You can kind of see what these say here. Train spotter reported a touchdown tornado. All kinds of different reports here. Social media pictures and videos of a tornado near Wild Island. Over here in Cape Coral, social media videos of tornado and damage near the southeastern Fort Myers Country Club. So just Port St. Lucie, a tornado, perhaps a longer track tornado down up through Port St. Lucie. Wind report in Naples, 58 mile per hour wind gust as far. Milton's quite a bit of ways away. The eye, so to get a 58 mile per hour wind gust down there, that's it's interesting for sure. So let's go over here and go back to radar. Okay, let's see. $7 p.m. update has just come in. The northern eyewall of Milton is starting to spread on shore along the Florida Gulf Coast. The northern eyewall, and I'm going to circle the area I'm kind of talking about. We're going to be talking kind of about this right here, right now, in this area. The northern eyewall of Hurricane Milton is beginning to move on shore of Florida near Tampa and St. Petersburg, where an extreme wind warning is now in effect. Please shelter in place as the extremely dangerous hurricane-force winds overspread the region. A sustained wind of 61 miles per hour and a gust of 77 miles per hour was recently reported at a weather flow station at Egmont Channel. Okay. A sustained wind of 44 miles per hour and a gust of 77 miles per hour was reported at the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. A sustained wind of 55 and a gust of 71 was recently reported at Skyway Fishing Pier. The next update will be intermediate advisory at 8 p.m. So we're starting to see these winds come on shore and start to impact the area. Again, once that Eyewall gets into the area, that's going to certainly be when we start to see the intensity, the extreme part of it. You can see here too, it's interesting, perhaps some indication of wanting to wrap this around the backside like this. We'll go over here to the velocity scan, and we want to watch those winds work in as they're kind of. There's the eye right there. You can see the eye. Let me turn the drawing off and redraw. You can see the eye of Milton right here on radar, and what we want to look at is the wraparound effect of these winds coming into here as well. They're certainly more pronounced and more intense right here on the northern edge of the eye wall right now for sure, though. Okay. Gust of 92 miles per hour at East Palm Beach on the other side of Florida. That's interesting. So these winds are expansive. They are stretching out big time for sure. Okay, just looking for reports, guys. Okay, I'll take questions. If anyone has some questions, I'll try to go through and address some of them. Depending on how many folks watch, I don't know how long I'll stream tonight, just because we've beat this into the ground. We've talked about it. We've talked about it and talked about it, and there's not a whole lot more we can do right now than just kind of watch it come on shore. You're watching live radar right now of Hurricane Milton make landfall here in Florida. So, my sister is in Lakeland, biggest threat there. Lakeland, Florida, just east of there. I mean, you're still going to be dealing with hurricane force winds. The biggest threat is it's a hurricane. Your sister's going to deal with a hurricane with incredibly heavy rain and a lot of wind. There's going to be. I want to actually take a look at the latest rainfall forecast. Rain's already been falling, but additionally, there could be another 8 to 12 inches of rainfall through the Lakeland area. So a ton of flooding is going to be a big problem there for sure. With it coming on shore earlier, how long would you expect the hurricane effects to last up and down the coast? I'd say till about 9:30 or 10:30. Okay. Thanks for the compliments there. Appreciate that. Thank you, Janice, and appreciate that, Abby. How is Cocoa area going to be affected on the East Coast? I mean, they're not going to be incredibly affected. They're going to get a lot of rain. The worst of the worst, guys, is going to really be from right through here. I'll show you where the worst of the worst is going to be. I'm going to switch this to dark mode in just a second, but it's going to be right here. This is where you're really going to get power outages, flash flooding, intense hurricane force winds. You're talking places Titusville, Rockledge, Palm Bay, Kissimmee, Orlando, Sebring, Arcadia, Northport, and then obviously Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater area. Just an enormous amount of rainfall and very strong winds, probably a lot of power outages. I'll take a look at the power outages map, see what that's looking like right now. Yeah, so we're already starting to see some power outages show up. In fact, right now, there's 311,000 customers without power. We're tracking 11,500,000. So it's steadily starting to climb. 14,000 without power in Hernando County. Pinellas County, you've got 48,000 people out. So you can kind of see, look at this way over here in the east part of Florida, Indian River, you've got 25,000 people out without power as well. So the power outages are starting to mount up as well a little bit. Yeah, I'll take a look here and see if I can find some. I'd like to find the Clearwater Pier webcam. Let's see if I can find that. It looks like it's down. That's a good camera I'd like to see right now. I bet that thing is live from Pier 60. I'd love to see what that looks like right now. But I bet that camera is not working. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. I'm working on it. Guys on the over in the oh, there we go. Tyler, you just sent me some live. Problem is, I don't know if I can share these on the stream, Tyler, because these guys are probably selling their footage. I'll send you guys a link in the comments. There's some really good footage here from chasers down here. I just don't know if there's any streaming rights or anything that says I can show these, because I know these guys are charging for their footage. So there is a link that you can go and check out some live camera footage from Sarasota, from Tampa, Bradenton. Interesting. Audio's good. Okay, I'm going to go back over now and switch to 311,000 power, 311,000 without power right now. We'll revisit that number a little bit later and just kind of continue to take a look here at radar as this comes on shore and makes landfall. It is, it's pretty close, guys. I'll zoom in down here. I'm going to turn this back to night mode, make it a little bit easier on the eyes. There we go. And we'll get a measurement here for how far away she is from the coast. You are about 14. Osprey, 20 miles. Sarasota, 17 miles. Bradenton, 21 miles. It's really about 20 miles away from landfall. Okay. I'll take a look here at the National Hurricane Center. That's as of 5 p.m. Let's see. Sarasota storm surge is sitting at around 10 feet right now, according to my team over there. So Sarasota's up to 10 feet. I've lost my screen share there. Let me turn that back on. This thing likes to hop off and on the screen share sometimes. Okay. Yeah, about 20 miles away from landfall, guys. Over here and zoom out a little bit so you guys can get a big picture here of the whole state. Check this out. This is wild. I'm going to turn the warnings off because they kind of cloud up the view there, if you ask me a little bit. Put that into motion. Come on now. I may have to quit this software and go to a different one. It seems to be giving me some problems here, guys. I apologize. Okay. Turn this mama jumbo on here. Seen this one in. This one actually looks a little bit better anyways. For those of you tuning in, you know what we're doing right now. I'm not really doing a whole lot in the way of analysis. We're just kind of watching as this thing makes landfall. So right now, Milton is a Category 3 hurricane right now. It is not still a Category 4. Sorry, I had to get some information on that there. Max sustained wind of 120 right now. So luckily, guys, I think the wind shear went to work on this thing today. Remember, we kind of talked about last night and the night before, we talked about, you know, would we be able to have some of these different variables weaken Milton as it approached Florida in terms of wind shear, drier air, and things like that? And thankfully, I think that's happening. I think the shear has gone to work on this and certainly allowed it to not be as intense as what it certainly could have been. That's for sure. I mean, nonetheless, there's still a major hurricane hitting the west coast of Florida right now. And the people that are experiencing it probably don't really care what category it is at the moment. So. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions about what we're seeing other than about ready to watch this thing make landfall here? You can see the eye right here. Okay. And a lot of the convection and the heaviest wind is focused north and west of it right now. All right, which is interesting. Here's a new scan coming in right now. The eye is getting ready to come right in through this area right here. Probably is where it's going to hit Bradenton, Sarasota area here in probably the next hour. Okay, probably right about 8:30 is when it's going to touch the land here. How high will the wind get just outside of the extreme wind warning zone, family in Newport Richey? It'll probably certainly get to hurricane force wind, probably 60, 70, maybe 80 mile per hour gusts. I mean, we can take a look here at the wind gust forecast as it goes over the central portion of the state. Still what we're anticipating. It's still not going to be any walk in the park, surface wind gust swath miles per hour. Yeah, here we go. I'll show you right here. We'll share this screen. And you can see what I'm talking about right here. So here's the wind gusts over central Florida. So if you know where you live, you can see where those winds are going to be gusting. Again, where Milton tracks through. Still can see 100 mile per hour wind gusts across central Florida. Mind you, with the rain. That's the big thing. The 100 mile per hour wind gusts and the rainfall forecast is it's remarkable. This is the additional rain that's forecast to fall that hasn't fallen yet as of 25 minutes ago. So you can see just how much rain is expected. It's remarkable how much moisture we're going to be dealing with. A couple of you have asked about why there's not a lot of moisture on the south side of the storm. There's a couple of reasons. Most of it is probably there's a lot more jet stream support to the north up here. There's some upward motion. There's some lifting and some going on with a jet streak to the southeast. And there's a lot of dry air that's wrapping in on the backside of this and trying to pull it up into the storm. So I'll go over here. I'm drawing on a map right now thinking that I'm showing you. And I'm not, but I'll go back to that. Your jet support's up here. All right. There's a lot of dry air here in the Gulf that's trying to get wrapped around Milton and pulled in, which is probably why we're seeing a gap in the precip shield down here to the south, which is that's a great thing for Southeast Florida or Southwest Florida. I'm sorry, the southern part of this. I mean, it's nice that it's not filled in and that you're not getting the absolute worst of it. So I don't think anyone certainly is going to complain about that. I'll pull up a water vapor satellite imagery so you can see what I'm talking about with the dry air wrapping into it, because it's certainly going to be a pronounced feature. Mid-level water vapor. Oh yeah, wow, that's crazy. This will really paint the picture for you. Let me turn some things on. Definitely a dry air intrusion on the backside of this. And again, one thing that we were hoping would happen is that would start happening. Pull that up there. Check that out. So you can see that sharp orange contrast there coming in on the backside. I'm not sure why it's not sharing here, guys. I'm the devil. There we go. You can see that sharp contrast there. That is very dry air being wrapped in on the backside, coming in up underneath of Milton. So that's good. That's good for people that don't want to be totally blown off the map and totally screwed. It's not a Category 5 or a Category 4 right now. It is officially a Category 3 hurricane. It's still a major hurricane with 120 mile per hour winds sustained. So, yeah, but this dry air and the wind shear to the north is certainly helping work against Milton and its strengthening. So, I'm happy to see that. I was going to try to find where I could probably plot the wind shear. I may not have that able to plot there. Just emergency. Yeah. I have a good one to plot for you, but nonetheless, let's see. No, I don't have. That's okay. I mean, it's moving quicker already, Dustin. It's 24 hours ago we thought maybe 1 o'clock in the morning it'd make landfall, and now we're looking here at about 8 or 8:30. So it's sped up quite a bit for sure. Yeah, it's not as intense, but it's still very intense. You're still going to be looking at wild photos and pictures tomorrow as the sun comes up in this area. I can promise you that it's not going to be a pleasant sight for people. I'm just looking to see if we have any new. Just measured a wind of 114 miles per hour moments ago in Sarasota. So there you go. That thing it's here. 114 mile per hour wind gust in Sarasota just moments ago. That's a nasty wind gust, my friends. That's nothing to play around with. We'll zoom in here and take a look at this. I'll show you. There's Sarasota. We'll look at the high-res velocity scans and kind of get a read on what it's interesting that we got that 120 mile per hour wind there. Radar wouldn't necessarily indicate that, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Just north of that, you've got 103 mile per hour winds up there. I don't know. Do we know what the Port Charlotte storm surge is right now? It's probably about 5 or 6 feet if I had to guess. I don't know for sure. I'll take a look there and see. Yeah, just got an interesting. Let me head over here and show you this on X. Check this out. There's Fort Myers Beach right now as Milton surge comes in. So that place is underwater. That's probably a 5-foot surge right now, 5 or 6 foot storm surge in Fort Myers. Here's Charlotte Harbor, Jim Cantori. You always can bet on him finding something silly. You know what? There's Lieutenant Dan update. Here's downtown Tampa. Somebody doing donuts in the parking lot. He's currently on lap 4, making it happen down there. Look at him. Here's Inglewood Beach, Florida. Wow. That is nasty right there. House walls collapse inward on homeowner during hurricane. That is probably not good. This was an hour ago. Let's see. Oh boy, there they go. Good night. That is not what you want to see right there. That's Sarasota looking out towards the outer barrier. Power flashes have started, dotting the sky. Yeah, 114 mile per hour wind in Sarasota moments ago is nothing to mess with. It's getting pretty nasty there as we this thing makes landfall. Just seeing if I see anything new here, guys, to share with you. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, wow. There's your tornado today. 50 of them. Good night. Look at that. That's some footage there. A tornado on the east side of that hurricane, isn't it? Wild. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm going to continue to kind of watch this go down. I'm going to continue to watch this come on board. My team's telling me the video of the wall collapsing is not from Milton. They've seen that video before. You got to love social media. You know, you never know. You just never know what's current and what isn't. We've done, all we can do with this right now. It's coming up on shore. We've forecasted it as much as we possibly can for you. Now we just kind of watch and wait and just see what happens. Largo's going to get smashed with hurricane conditions, 100-mile-per-hour winds, flash flooding, a lot of it, a lot of rain, just nasty. Central Florida, you're dealing with a hurricane. Everybody gets hurricane conditions and a lot of rain, foot or more of rain. Okay, so we'll continue to watch. We'll see how this impacts as the eye makes landfall. And if I feel the need to come back on, I will. Safe. Hope everyone's staying safe, and we're praying for